What God told me to tell you, my friends, is to come out of your comfort zone, and so that you can come into his. Wow. I'm going to say that one more time. And just because you said it, what she say? What she said, I said, God told me to tell you to come out of your comfort zone. So you can come over into his. Wow. God has a whole new space for you. God has a whole new level for you. God has a whole new design for you. And God says it's yours for the taking. It's yours if you just reach up and say, I'm going to have it. I'm going to let you have your way, God. I'm going to come into agreement with you. I'm going to reach up and I'm going to touch and agree with God. Reach up and touch and agree with what his word is saying over your life. Reach up and understand that God is downloading, my God, instruction for you. And many of you have already begun to hear this. Many of you sense it in your spirit. You feel a pull. You know the shift of God is here. And God says he wants you to hear that and obey, because what he's taking you into, although it's going to be different, and yes, you may not even see how all the dots line up, because that's how the comfort zone, our comfort zone, works. See, the way we know that we're in our comfort zone is because we can see every single dot. We know how everything is going to line up. We know how every penny is going to be counted. We know how every single thing goes. Oh, when I turn this way, this does that. When I turn this thing on, this does that. We know exactly what to expect. And that's not a bad thing, because God doesn't always lead us into places that are completely unknown, but yet when we have gotten there, we've gotten the fullness of what God has said to us or what God wanted to do in us. God then says it's time for more. And that's what he told me to tell you. It's time for more. It's time for you to come out of that place where you know every line, you know every step before you even make it. You could walk it blindfolded. That's how familiar you are in the territory you're in right now. And God says it's time for you to shift gears and come over into his comfort zone, his brand new space. And we call his space a comfort zone. Why? Not because it's going to be familiar, because it's not. Matter of fact, God told me to tell you this is a way you've never been before. My God. He says, I'm taking you away that you've never been before. And God says in various areas of your life, as you're watching this message, there are those of you, this will apply to your job. This may apply to your finances. This may apply to your home life. It may apply to your physical health. It may apply to various areas that you are changing up, that God is requiring you to do something you've never done before. It requires, for some of you, it's an entrepreneurial move. For some of you, it's a deal that you're about to make. It's a contract you're about to sign. For some of you, it's understanding how to make new connections with new relationships and new friends or new people. There's change in the atmosphere. And God is saying he requires for you to come over into his comfort zone. Why? Because he's getting ready to do more. Oh my. So that's the word for tonight. That's what I want you to tell you. And God told me it's like autopilot. We get in a place in our lives that we feel, okay, I know exactly what's going on. So I just click the button and I don't even have to worry about anything. I don't have to think about it. I don't even have to try to figure it out. All I got to do is just coast along. And God says, yes, I bring you to a place of peace. Yes, I bring you to a place that I don't want you to have to strive or be worried all the time. But yet there's a difference between a place of peace and a place of complacency. Yee, my. Oh, I just said something right there, honey. Yes, indeed. There's a difference between a place of peace and a place of complacency. So where are you? Have you reached a place of peace? And if so, I'm excited for you. Or are you in a place of complacency? Wow. And if so, if your answer was the second, I'm in a place of complacency, I know I am, then God says it's time for you to do more. God says, come out of your comfort zone so you can come on over into his. The scripture I want you to start reading on this now. We're going into another study in the book of Genesis. And I'm studying Genesis, y'all, because there's so much richness. There's so many origin stories there that have to do with so much of the current day and age that we're in. The instructions that God has to have for us in terms of kingdom living. There's so much of it that's embedded in Genesis. So I had to take my time. God told me, take your time time and study this book of Genesis and really begin to take a hold of the lives of these people that are being spelled out here, so that you can benefit and understand exactly what the revelation and the knowledge is, to help you to know that in this day and age, in this current kingdom hour, that there's richness in those scriptures that we can apply right now, that's going to cause God to manifest in our lives the way that we're believing him to. I promise you. I promise you that. So Genesis 5, and we're going to be talking about Noah. So we're going to continue teaching this. I'm not going to stay on right now to talk the whole thing about it, because I'm going to do we're going to do some parts to this. Okay. This is a bit of a introduction, but I want you to start reading, and it talks about the generations. First of all, you'll see all the lineage and all of the different who came from who and who was born after whom. And so these various people are listed there all the way till you get to the grandfather of Noah, first of all, who is Methuselah. And then you get to the father of Noah, which is Lamech. And then you get to our person of interest, the person we're going to be studying on, y'all, which is Noah. Wow. The faith walker. Okay. One of the original faith walkers. I mean, this is a bad boy here, because he had to do something that nobody had ever done, because he had to believe God for something that nobody ever seen. Nobody knew what rain was. Nobody understood. It was like, what is he talking about? Rain. What is that? But God told him that. Not only did he tell him it was going to rain, but first, before he even told him that, he gave him the work to do. He pulled Noah out of his comfort zone, and he said, build you an ark. Wow. So he gave Noah this instruction, and it was this was new. This was innovative. Nobody had ever seen it, because a ship wasn't needed, wasn't built yet. A ship wasn't even, thought of. Nobody was building arks. Nobody was bringing animals and people into a ship, but God wanted to take Noah on a journey. Oh, my. So we're going to get into that. And so I want you to go and start that reading process. I want you to read Genesis 5, and then flip on over and read 6 as well, because Genesis 5 is mostly going to talk to you about all the generations that came before Noah, but Genesis 6 is going to start the story. So by the time I come back for the next part, we're going to talk, but I want you to have already done your reading, okay? So read all the way through Genesis 6, and I'm going to come back and we're going to continue to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it from the perspective of how God brought Noah out of his comfort zone and over into God's comfort zone. And I'm going to leave you with that tonight. I want you to be blessed, and I want you to start to receive it already. And I want you to declare, I'm ready. It's time. And I'm ready to come out of my comfort zone, so I can go on over into his, which is God's. There you'll find peace. There you're going to find rest. You're going to find joy. You're going to find strength. You're going to find power. You're going to find clarity. Brand new mind. Yes, you are. Why? Because this is the season and the time for the brand new. And it's time for you to hear God and obey. And God says, when you do that, heaven is going to be open on your behalf. So come on out your comfort zone. Get ready to start moving, and come on over into God's, okay? We're going to continue to study, and I'll be back soon, and we'll continue this message. Come out your comfort zone and come on over into God's. I love you. God bless you. It's a brand new day. See you soon. Bye.